Hi, I'm Gavin from Active Learning, and today we're going to learn how to create an application and deploy it using Java Web Start. So here we have NetBeans, and I'll first create a new project. So I'll choose Java application, and then I'll give my project a name. Let's name it Web Start. Okay, and I'll uncheck this checkbox because I don't want to create the default main application. So I'll click Finish. And as you can see here, we have our new project. And basically right now I want to create a JFrame form. Let's name this Web Start Demo. Then give it package name of Active Learning. Let's click Finish. Okay, so now we have our frame here, and we're just going to create a very simple application. I'm just going to put here a button, okay, and rename this button by pressing F2 and name it Web Start Demo. Okay, and then I'll just resize my frame here. Okay, so this is our basic application, and I deliberately created the small application because that's not our focus for this screencast. The next thing we want to do is change the project's run settings. So we right-click on our project, click Properties, and in the Run node, make sure that you select the right class, specifically the JFrame form we just created. So I click the Browse button here and select my main class, Web Start Demo, which is the class we just created. And after that, we go to the Web Start node and select Enable Web Start, the checkbox here. Now, it will ask you for an icon. This icon should be a JPEG or a GIF file, ideally at the size of around 64 by 64 image. So I put that on my desktop. Okay, right? And then the code base, since I want to deploy this using a web server, I'm going to choose user defined. And then also put the URL where I want to place my files. This is the IP address of my web server, my machine. And then I'm going to place the files in a directory called WebStart under my web server's document group. Now, if you want the application to work without a network connection, meaning offline, then you select this button here, Allow Offline, and you also select Self-Signed if you want your application to be able to access the network or the local file system as well. Okay, so that's what we do here, and press OK. And then the next thing we want to do is build our project. But before we do that, I'd like to point out what your files are currently in the Files window. Let's expand the Web Start node. And as you can see, we have 3 folders here. But when I start building my main project, notice that it will actually create another folder called dist, okay, which is your distributable binaries. Okay. Now, let's expand that. As you can see, it created a jar file for your application. But not only that, it also copied the icon, okay, that we selected earlier on. Now I just want to open this file, launch.html, which basically consists of the code that will launch our application. So you can just copy this part of the code and paste it into your HTML. Okay. Now, as you can see, it will actually call or link to this JNLP file, launch.jnlp, which is required by Java Web Start to launch your application. And these are generated automatically by NetBeans. So let's go to launch.jnlp, and just want to point out that here, as you can see, this is the code base that we specified when in the run properties of our project. And here you have your jar file, webstart.jar, and your main class is activelearning.webstartdemo. Okay, so that's basically all we need to do in NetBeans. Now we have to create we have to transfer the files created by NetBeans and transfer them into our web server's document group. Okay, so here we go to our web start project, and into this folder, okay, and then we basically copy all these files and paste it. We'll have to create a web start directory here. This is my document root, and then I created the web start directory there, and then I paste the files here. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to do is to make sure that in our web server's configuration file, I'm using Apache, that the JNLP file, JNLP type is actually recognized by Apache. So I need to add a line, which I already did actually. I put the line here, added this line here. So make sure you add that line, okay, so that your Apache web server can recognize JNLP files. Okay, so now we start a web server. I'm using WAF, so let me just start that up. Okay, so next I just try to access my file, the launch file, launch.html. As you can see, this is our test file, and then I'll click on launch the application, the link here, and it will bring up web start. Okay, it will ask me if I want to run this application. Okay, and here you go. And that's it. For more Java programming tips, you may want to attend our public training course. Just take a look at www.activelearning.ph.